What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update about Tesla and the broader markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. So, as far as Tesla's going, as you guys can tell, we're just bouncing off this trend line so far. We're doing a good job at holding up. But as we hit 355, we like to reject on Tesla. And as we approach 335, we like to get bought back up. Tesla got a very nice pump with the news that came out that Elon Musk has a new pay package proposal from the shareholders. But at the same time, okay, you also want to be looking at support and resistance. So we pushed to 355. I mentioned that those are going to be our targets, 350 to 355 if that breaks. We touched it, but so far Tesla was not able to hold above 350. So we're going to be watching 350 as our resistance to see if Tesla can reclaim this. And then our support is currently at this 347 area. If that fails on Tesla, we could be dipping all the way down to 343.5, the high we saw yesterday. So if we lose 347, look for 343. But if we break 350, we could once again just range trade in the upper area. Tesla is showing some strength compared to the market. It's holding up nicely, but watch and see if we could hold 347 just for confirmation. I think that because we pumped already and we're starting to sell off a little bit, there might be a little bit of consolidation right here. You might see Tesla just trade very sideways around 347 for the most part. There might be another attempt to push for like the low 350s, but then I see some sideways price action in this range right over here. So I would not be surprised if Tesla basically pushes back up for 350, comes back down, just kind of trades sideways like this until we see a bigger move next week. But for now, that's what I'm essentially seeing on Tesla, some sideways price action, and we might just continue to consolidate for now. Now on SPY, okay, we started off with a nice pump. We were looking very nice. I said I want to see us hold at 652 to remain bullish, to break out for 655. We were looking very solid in the pre-market, but upon open, I think there was some negative news that came out, and as a result, the markets come down. Now we basically have failed at 650 so far, but when you zoom out and go to the 4-hour time frame, you'll notice something very interesting. Notice how we had this white trend line acting as support right here, and then we had this trend line as resistance. So this is now acting as our support. We're going to see if we could hold this trend line around the 645 area. So 644 to 645 is very critical for SPY. We need to hold this in bounce. If we don't hold this, we're going to be at risk of dipping to like 642. So let's see if this 644 to 645 area holds. This is where we have big support. If the 644s fails, we could be dumping all the way down to like 643. So you want to be very careful nonetheless. So be careful with SPY and watch your levels just to be safe. And we're going to see what ends up happening as time goes on. So if 644 fails us, we could be dipping to 642. Unfortunately, we got a big rejection off 650 instead of holding above that. So we are favoring downside a bit more, and that could slow things down. The QQQ pushed all the way up to about 581, coming short of our 582 target, and it came short of the all-time high. So, is this about to be a trend shift? We're going to have to see heading into next week. I think we're going to be visiting 571.23 to 570. We'll see if we bounce off those levels or not. Otherwise, we're favoring downside. The IWM pushed to about this 240 area, came just short of 240, then turned back down. Supports at 234.69. If it doesn't hold, we're going to be dipping to 232. So watch and see if we hold support or not. For ES, we have resistance at 65.40. If we don't hold this, we could be dipping back down even lower. So we could be once again returning to the lower 6400s. So we're still technically in this wedge. You know what I mean? We're still in this wedge on ES. We're technically still at resistance. That caused us to get rejected, and now we're testing support down here. So we need to bounce around 64.50. If we don't, we could be dipping back down to like 64.25 or below. So watch and see if we hold support here. We could be looking for some temporary downside. Now on NQ, the same thing is going on. We still have this like left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. Are we going to fail and form kind of like a double top for the right shoulder and just reject, or do we bounce right here? If we lose 23,500, there's going to be a risk of us dipping to like 23,396 for more downside. So be careful. Looking at BTC, we're also rejecting right here. We're forming an inverse head and shoulders. We were supposed to break above 113,000. We were looking quite solid, but then we rejected off our 200 EMA, so we could be retesting 109,000 or below. Tesla, once again, is just consolidating right now around 347. So I expect that to continue as time goes on. Nvidia is dumping right now. We got some negative news that came out. With the new potential tariffs and such, we're seeing Nvidia dipping. And with that happening, this is also dragging the market down. Nvidia started dumping, and I think that's what's leading the markets. Apple's rejecting. We need to hold above 240 to continue to push. If we can't hold above 240, we're going to be at risk of 235. Um, Looking at, let me just double check this. AMD, it's also rejecting. So a lot of chip stocks are rejecting right now. We're going to be looking for 144. Coinbase was supposed to push to fill this gap. We came a little bit short. We hit 316, coming short of our 320 target. Now we are rejecting, so we're going to see if we could hold 300 or not. Amazon needs to get back above 235. If not, we're looking for 230 as our target. Meta might be retesting 744. We need to reclaim 750 or else 744 is coming. Google might be dipping to about 228. Then Microsoft is also rejecting. I think we got some more negative news that came out as well. I think there's some news that the CEO has once again sold 149,000 shares. So a lot of negative news for these tech stocks, especially the potential semiconductor tariffs. Will the VIX break out from here? Does it continue to fall? We'll see, just to be safe. The market's not guaranteeing that it's going to like completely shift directions. We're about to crash. There's no guarantee yet, unless we start losing these lows. We're going to see if we lose the lows or not. But for now, we're still technically in a very, very critical place. So with that being said, make sure you watch your support. SPY and the QQQ might be dipping a little bit more, but watch and see if we could hold 644 and 642.5 on SPY and then 570 on the QQQ, and we'll see what happens after that. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. There's not really much data coming out for the rest of the day, but be very, very careful at these supports. And there is a lot of manipulation. This market's affecting things. And as far as Tesla's going, we're trading sideways for now. But if we can't hold our key supports, if we end up losing like 343.5, we could be looking for a dip to 340. I do think Tesla could shuffle a bit around these levels for some time, but we're going to see if we turn or not. It's still kind of flat right now, so hopefully we hold up. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have an awesome rest of your guys' days. And just know that Tesla's still holding up decently, so you want to be very, very careful, at least for the time being, and we'll see what ends up happening, at least as time goes on. So anyways, I appreciate you guys so much for listening. Tesla's just going to likely shuffle for now. Also keep in mind that today is Friday, so Fridays are known for manipulation, and sometimes you get manipulated moves. The market started off with a very, very nice pump, only to get a rejection so far. So we're going to see if we dip a bit more, and if buyers could defend at 642 on SPY and 640, and if Tesla could once again kind of sustain these levels. I do think we kind of shuffle here for some time. And then we'll see what the bigger move happens to be. So watch your levels, do what you have to do, guys. Peace out.